The arrogant killer publicly demonstrated his killing technique. I stood in the crowd, filled with anger and grief, because my mother was one of his victims. Watching this man with not a trace of remorse, I could no longer hold back my fury. I lunged forward, ready to kill him. Several officers tried to stop me, but none of them could hold me back. But just as I got close to the killer, I was hit by a police stun gun. I collapsed to the ground. Then the killer taunted me and said,
눈빛이 살인자네. 내 손으로. 너한테까지 손상 걸지 모르겠다.
Uncle Lee in the crowd felt the pain deeply because he had once gone through the same tragedy. That crushing grief and helplessness of losing a loved one. Only those who've lived it can understand. There's no death penalty in Korea, so even when criminals are caught, they eventually exploit loopholes and connections to escape legal punishment. Even if the victims' families are unwilling to accept it, they have no choice but to endure their pain in silence. So Uncle Lee spent 20 years building a revenge base dedicated to punishing criminals who slip through the law. He named the team Revenge Taxi. The team included Missy the hacker, the mechanics Jack and Danny, and Uncle Lee as the overall mastermind. All they needed now was a skilled driver. After seeing what I did earlier that day, he decided to recruit me. That night, he pulled my records through connections. Turns out, I was a retired Special Forces soldier, exactly the kind of talent Uncle Lee needed. After learning my background, Uncle Lee approached me in person and handed me a taxi driver's card, inviting me to join the Revenge Taxi team. I desperately wanted to avenge my mother. Reading the customer service description on the back, I agreed immediately, and my first mission was a criminal who had raped and killed multiple underage girls. Because of the brutality of his crimes, he was sentenced to life imprisonment, but using connections and legal tricks, he claimed mental illness and was released without charge. The public protested furiously, holding signs, but nothing changed. They could only throw trash at him in anger. But once the criminal got into the car, his true colors came out.
나한테 당해본 적도 없는 나 이렇게 만든 년놈들 다 죽이러 가는 길이야.
But he was out of time because he had boarded my taxi. At an intersection, I drifted cleanly, turning into a narrow side road. Jack parked the decoy car sideways, pretending it broke down, blocking all the reporters. Before the criminal could celebrate, he sensed something was wrong. I was driving him in the opposite direction. He yanked off his belt and wrapped it around my throat. I punched him back, then pulled out a tranquilizer pen and jabbed it into his thigh. I drove into a tunnel. Ahead, an identical taxi appeared. I activated the booster, sped past it, then drifted into a parallel reverse position. I handed the criminal's ankle monitor and luggage to Uncle Lee. Then I pulled into the tunnel maintenance bay. Danny ripped off the taxi decals, removed the rooftop light. I hit a switch inside, which hid the logo and flipped the license plate. The taxi transformed into a private car. We drove past the reporters without them noticing. And just like that, this monstrous